In 1957, Fiat brought out the Nuova Cinquecento, or New 500 to us English speakers. A tiny two-door, four-seat city car meant to be accessible to the masses. It was powered by a 479cc, two-cylinder air-cooled engine placed in the rear of the car, making 13 horsepower. That 13 horsepower was good enough to send the 500 from 0 to 60 in, well, never. The top speed was just 53 miles an hour. It was just 2.97 meters long and 1.32 meters wide. For perspective, that's nearly half the length of a Lincoln Continental of the same year. That meant it was incredibly easy to park and perfect for city life. When new, you could buy one for just £446 and 16 pence, which in today's money equates to around £9,768 and 5 pence. That may sound like a lot, but remember that a Rolls Royce from the same year cost well over £120,000. Fast forward to 1959 and BMC released their all-new Austin 7 and Morris Mini Minor, a tiny two-door, four-seat city car built to defeat the little Fiat, and served the public as the go-to cheap car. It was powered by an 858cc four-cylinder, water-cooled engine placed in the front of the car, making 34 horsepower. A figure good enough to get the car to 60 miles an hour in an eye-watering 27.1 seconds. For perspective, we'll continue talking while the Mini at the bottom of the screen attempts a 0 to 60 time. The genius of the BMC Mini was its transverse engine with gearbox built in. To us, that may seem normal, but back in 1959, only a handful of cars in the world were utilising this layout. BMC's genius engineer and father of the original Mini, Sir Alekis Agonis, decided to go with transverse because it meant the floor pan in the cabin could be flat, freeing up more space, allowing 4 adults to easily fit in one tiny Mini. When new, this tiny bundle of ingenuity cost a little more than the Fiat at £497, or £10,993 in today's money. The 500's production spanned from 1957 to 1975, and in those 18 years, an astonishing 3,893,294 cars were built. That averages out at over 216,000 a year, or 592 a day. Back before the age of fully robotic factories and tools, 500s were put together with 2 hands and a little Italian flair. On the other hand, the original shape of Mini lasted from 1959 all the way up until 1999, and in that time, supposedly 5,023,681 were made. That's 1.13 million more than the 500, but with an extra 22 years of production. At the turn of the millennium, BMW, who now owned Mini, brought out the new Mini, a completely new outlook on what the world needed from a small car. It went down a storm and sold all around the world. However, this time it was Fiat's turn to steal the Mini's crown, and in 2007, Fiat brought out the 500 once more. What made it so different is that it was still true to its tiny heritage. While the newest Mini has now grown to 3.8 meters long and 1.7 meters wide, the 500 is just 3.5 meters long and 1.6 meters wide. The beauty of the original 500 and Mini was that they were classless. Celebrities and working class families alike drove them. In the 60s, whether it was your teacher or your celebrity idol, they probably drove a 500 or a Mini. Despite the new cars not being close to their original version, that can still be said to some degree, whether it's your first car or your 50th. So what would you have? The Italian Cinquecento or the British BMC Mini?